What's going on with the Creator Studio subscription? I fully agree. There's some pros, cons, and some things that just stink. This is a deep dive into the fine print to see if there's value for any of us in this suite. I'm Don Bullock. Welcome to the Tech Eye Hound. Well, Apple has finally released some updates to Final Cut Pro and some other apps that will now be available by subscription. The outcry especially from Final Cut Pro users has been wild. They seem to be the most vocal on the subject. I understand. I just bought Final Cut Pro about a year ago, and yeah, they took my $299.99. And I'm sure while they were doing that, they were already working on this product. In my first video, I explained that those who either own or purchase individual standalone apps will get upgrades to those apps. So what's different with the subscription? And why are they so upset about a subscription, especially this one? Perhaps for those who weren't around at the time, we need to talk about the elephant in the room. Now, some of you out there may not remember, but when Adobe discontinued older versions of Creator Cloud applications, the company sent out warnings to customers who are still using older versions that they may face legal action if they continue their use. Think about that. The change from one-time purchase came abruptly, and users had absolutely no choice. Obviously, Apple isn't going to do anything like that, but you can see why some are so outraged at Apple's move to a subscription model. I'm still seeing a lot of videos by people who are saying things that aren't true. This is because they didn't read what Apple said. In this video, I dive deeper into the fine print of what Apple says and explain both the good, the bad, and, well, what stinks. Yes, I know some of you out there are switching, but before you do, you might want to watch this video to find out what Apple actually says. So join me on a deep dive into the fine print of Apple's press release and see what Apple actually says. So what's included in the Creator Studio, and what has Apple told us in the press releases and elsewhere? The included apps are Final Cut Pro, Motion, Logic Pro, Pixelmator Pro, Compressor, and Mainstage, plus special content for Keynote, Pages, Numbers, and eventually Freeform. And remember that some of these apps are being made available on the iPad for the first time. Apple says these apps can be used by a wide gamut of creators at all levels, but they are also easy to use. Those last four apps are ones that come free with every iPhone, iPad, and Mac, and are available for free on the App Store to anyone who wants to go there and get them. My first dive is looking at the fine print Apple includes on these free apps. To help users prepare presentations even more quickly in Keynote, Apple Creator Studio includes access to features in beta, such as the ability to generate a first draft of a presentation from a text outline, or create presenter notes from existing slides. Subscribers can also quickly clean up slides to fix layout and object placement, and in Numbers, subscribers can generate formulas and fill in tables based on pattern recognition with Magic Fill. Unfortunately, the intelligent feature updates are limited to Creator Studio subscribers only. They state, quote, "You can continue using Keynote, Pages, Numbers, and Freeform for free. And while those apps remain free for everyone, an Apple Creator Studio subscription offers premium templates, a library of high-quality, royalty-free photos and graphics, and powerful intelligent features." End quote. So Apple is putting in all this premium content for Keynote, Pages, and Numbers. Here's some examples of some templates that come along for Keynote. This is from Christopher Lawley. I'll link to his video in the description. If these features are truly only for subscribers, this stinks, Apple. Either these apps are free, including all the updates as in the past, or they're not free. Which is it? This is just what Canva did with Affinity. Upgrades that use AI in Affinity are now only available through subscription paywall. Diving deeper has some answers to what they think will be frequently asked questions. What is the difference between the subscription version and one-time purchase of Final Cut Pro? One-time purchase will still be available, but access to some of the premium content is available only to Apple Creator Studio subscribers. If you already own Final Cut Pro, it will continue to be updated. Question: what is the difference between the subscription version and one-time purchase of Pixelmator Pro? A one-time purchase version of Pixelmator Pro is available for Mac on the App Store, but the Apple Creator Studio version of Pixelmator Pro includes access to the Warp Tool feature. This tool allows users to push, pull, and reshape specific areas of an image or layer. These clips came from Joseph Slinker. I'll link to his video in the description. Notice how when he moves this graphic over this t-shirt, it conforms to the wrinkles of the shirt. Then he takes that same graphic and uses what's called a twist tool to twist it to make it conform to the wave in the background. Notice how he manipulates the text. It's very effective for his purpose. There's now going to be an AI tool that's not going to be included in the upgrades for the standalone app owners. Question: what is the difference between the subscription version and one-time purchase of Logic Pro and MainStage? Logic Pro and MainStage have all the same features whether they are subscription or one-time purchase versions. Now, the other apps don't seem to have any FAQs, or at least I couldn't find any in Apple's material. Now I'm diving deeper into the fine print that I found on a special page on Apple's website. Here, Apple mentions a new sound library for professional Mac developers. It says it delivers Apple-designed packs and producer packs with hundreds of royalty-free loops, samples, instrument patches, drum sounds, and more. Then somewhere else, Apple mentions a content hub. This content hub is a new space where users can find high-quality photos, graphics, and illustrations that will be available only by subscription, available in Keynote, Pages, and Numbers, and only in Creator Studio. This is a clip from Christopher Lawley showing how you access it, and part of what's in the content as he scrolls through. Even though these are only available in those three apps, whatever is created using them can be used in Final Cut Pro. Now we have to worry if this new material is going to make it through YouTube's AI copyright filter. Some of us have been having some problems with that lately. I'm moving even deeper now to see what others say. First of all, someone who has actually talked with Apple since the release of Creator Studio. Neil Leitner, CEO of SignD, sat down exclusively with Apple's Brian O'Neill Hughes and John Dante from Apple's product marketing to cut through the creator branding, in his words, and get to the answers on what this stuff means for professionals. Leitner started out by saying the single biggest fear entering this release is a two-tier system where subscribers get the AI magic and perpetual license holders get a stagnant piece of software. We're hearing conflicting reports regarding the new intelligent-based features, with some suggesting non-subscribers might miss out on all the new tools like transcript search. Leitner continued, in our interview, Apple went on record to debunk this. When asked directly if the standalone Mac version of Final Cut Pro would include the new AI-driven tools, Brian O'Neill Hughes was definitive. Here's what he said, quote, the same features and functionality, visual search, transcript search, beat detection will be on the one-time purchase version that you have today. It'll update, and it'll all just work as you expect it to." End quote. Leitner added in his article, "And the shift to this comparatively affordable subscription with their creative apps gives me hope that Apple is finally treating creative apps as a business by its own that's supposed to make money, as opposed to software made to facilitate further hardware sales. Because if the subscription is a success, they have to put more resources behind the teams that actually make the apps, giving us more regular and more significant updates on a regular basis." He went on to say, "O'Neill seemed to confirm that Apple will now need to step up their support for these apps." Now, what I'm thinking, if Apple's going to do this, they need to add some software engineers to their small Final Cut Pro team, as well as the others, plus some confirmation from Apple that they will continue supporting these apps in the future. In an article in Forbes where they sat down with Bob Butchers, Apple's vice president of worldwide product marketing, he described the releases as central to Apple's mission. "Creator Studio is about our passion for supporting creators. We sit at this intersection between technology and liberal arts, and we work to make sure that we can bring value to designers when we're creating our products. But then also we give them the tools that they can use on their own endeavors. Today, Creator Studio is the next step in that journey because the global creator community has continued to develop over time," Butchers added. Now that was a very strong statement, and more than just a peek in where Apple sees this product. It truly gives me hope that they'll make a commitment to those who use their tools, both hardware and software, to create. "The reality here is that there's more to come," said Brent Chu Watson, Apple's Senior Director of Worldwide Product Marketing for Apps, in this conversation. "As Apple Creator Studio continues to evolve, we're going to involve this community because the multidisciplinary creators have moved quickly and continue to do so. We're excited to have an ongoing relationship with these people." A relationship usually means some kind of interaction. Perhaps Apple may be opening up that secret veil that they have and giving us a chance to kind of peek behind and open up dialogue between software teams and us users even wider. And that's one of the things that we really need. In another article in Petapixel, Chu Watson stated, "Bottom line is, these apps, both the subscription and the standalone versions of the apps, are going to continue to get updates. We think it's important for people to have this choice of how they want to purchase software." You can't get more definitive than that. Several have complained that some of the apps that could add more value to this collection are conspicuous by their absence. Stephen Robles and Jason Aton on their podcast Primary Technology were discussing Creator Studio. Jason mentioned the absence of Photomator and was disappointed that Apple didn't take the opportunity to bring Aperture back. By the way, Photomator is available in the App Store as a subscription, and here are the prices. I don't know about you, but their pricing seems very strange. Notice there also is a one-time price of $119.99. Then Stephen stated that he saw a post on social media that suggested that iCloud storage should have been included with the subscription because it's going to be necessary for those who want to switch between Macs and iPads. He says this subscription would be compelling if it included 250 or 500 gigabytes of iCloud storage in Creator Studio. Perhaps at this point, we need to challenge Apple on some of this. Instead of jumping ship from an app that works well and is quick and easy to use, even though I despise all these subscriptions that we have in our world today, I'm willing to see what Apple does with Creator Studio subscription before I get too upset. I do hope, however, that Apple makes some adjustments in what they've hidden behind their paywall. Now, I'm going to say something you may not like. Why we're at this point in time and why Apple may have switched and made the choice for a subscription is not just corporate greed, as well as why Apple is doing things differently from others. There's a fundamental difference in how and why Apple does things differently. To make this point, I went even deeper to a depth where it's almost too dark to see, where life is almost non-existent. Things only show up when you shine a light on them. I happened upon this quote from Tim Cook, as reported in ZDNet in 2017. Apple has never been about selling the most of anything. Our objective is to make products that enrich people's lives. We want to help people. During an even deeper dive, I discovered an interview that was first aired in February of 2016 with Charlie Rose, where Tim discussed Steve Jobs' legacy and Apple's culture of innovation. The following clips are from that interview, and I've included a link to it in the description.
Everybody wants to know the answer to this question. What is it about Apple? Why Apple?
It's the people, Charlie. It's not, we do have a little bit of money and we've got some IP and so forth, and all this stuff is great. But it's the people that make Apple. It's the people and the culture. And the culture here is this very unique blend of idealism, that anything is possible, that we can be bold, and a deep humanity. And everybody here wants to change the world, and we do that through our products, through creating the greatest products in the world. And we try to give people tools that make them do things or allow them to do things that they couldn't otherwise do. So that's sort of the thread that ties us all together.
You believe you can do things other companies can't do.
You do. You do. We all do. And we have, fortunately. And you do it to benefit other people. And so it's not a thing about, revenues and profits. Those are outcomes or results of doing things great. They're not the purpose. They're not the North Star.
And that's how Apple does make a boatload of money and has become a multi-trillion-dollar company, by helping people like me that don't make a boatload of money ourselves through channel memberships, subscriptions, Patreon, advertising on the channel, or AdSense. The Apple Creator Studio is clearly aimed at the creator-influencer market, the multidisciplinary creator who needs to make a thumbnail in Pixelmator, a beat in Logic, and a video in Final Cut, but by keeping the standalone versions, they haven't left out professionals who use their apps on the high-end studios. I'm the first one to say that Apple needs to show us that they are committed to Creator Studio. I'm definitely going to take advantage of the free 1-month trial that Apple is offering for Creator Studio as soon as this video is finished. I'll report back what I think and if I'm going to subscribe. If you've bought Final Cut Pro, Logic Pro, Pixelmator, or any of the other one-time purchase apps, what's your take on this subscription? Do you think Apple should include all upgrade material for the free apps for non-subscribers? Are you planning on taking a look at Creator Studio through their single-month free trial? Let me know your thoughts in the comments. I'd love to hear from you. Over here are a couple of videos you may be interested in. Please like, subscribe, click on the notification bell, and I appreciate all of you. Thank you all very much for watching.